At my daughter's birthday, Mom dropped the $1,000 cake and said, "Your sister's kids deserve this more." Dad laughed. I stayed quiet, then canceled their $12,000 cruise, sold the car I co-signed, and froze every account. That night, I got a text, "Our tickets are gone." I replied, "Ask your golden child." "Oh boy, here we go again." "Oops, but your sister's kids deserve this more," my mom snapped, her voice cutting through the chatter. The whole room went dead quiet, and the $1,000 cake I'd splurged on hit the floor with a thud. Frosting and fancy sugar flowers were everywhere, thanks to Mom's not-so-subtle stomp. Then, out of nowhere, my dad burst into this loud, mean laugh, holding up his drink like we were at some roast. "You never do anything for this family," he slurred, "always making it about yourself." Holding my daughter, I felt her little fingers clutching my shirt tightly. She's too young to get it, but I sure did. Meanwhile, there was my sister Jessica, chilling by the gift table, glued to her phone. "Don't be dramatic," she tossed, flinging a sparkly pink bag my way. I peek inside, candy that expired 6 months ago. "Kids won't notice," she giggled. Mom crouched down, kicking what was left of the cake even further across the room. I saw guests exchanging those awkward glances, some trying not to laugh. My uncle whispered something to his wife, who couldn't keep a straight face, either. Then, Dad snapped a pic of the wreckage, and a moment later, my phone buzzed. Ding! A notification reading family celebrations. "So proud of our little girl." Yep, a shot of the trashed cake, my stunned face, and Dad grinning like he's won an award. Comments were rolling in like, "Ah, what a sweet family. Jessica's always so thoughtful. Mom is the best. Never a dull moment." My cousin Mark chimed in with, "Lol, classic. Always trying too hard, huh?" I bit my tongue as Dad muttered to his buddy, "Can you believe he blew $1,000 on that thing? Always showing off." Then Jessica whispered to Mom, "At least my kids get real gifts, not just his ego wrapped in sugar." I just stood there, a frozen smile plastered on, with my daughter nestled against me. Around us, the aunts and uncles kept sipping their drinks, trying to hide their amusement. Ding! Another comment pops up, "Didn't he pull the same thing last year? Always trying to one-up everyone." I tucked my phone away and headed to the kitchen, my heart aching with disappointment. I settled my daughter in her high chair as she reached for the decorations. Opening my phone again, I saw the hefty $12,000 charge for the cruise I'd booked for the whole family, my parents, Jessica, her kids. It was supposed to be a reward for a tough year. But nope, I canceled it. Jessica's car loan, the one I co-signed for, gone. The family grocery account I managed, frozen. Utilities? Also in limbo. Subscriptions? Clicked pause on those too. My phone buzzed again, a new Facebook update. There was Jessica, posing with Dad, both cheesing hard. The caption read, "Family is everything. So grateful for these moments." Then a text from Mom popped up, "Our tickets are gone." What happened? I stared at the screen, seeing my reflection looking back from the kitchen window, calm and silent. From the living room, I heard the laughter spilling out, Jessica's loud voice, Dad's hearty chuckle. I replied with a slow, deliberate text, "Maybe your golden child can book new ones." Phone back in pocket, I scooped up my daughter and walked back into the living room. No one even noticed. They were too engrossed in their laughter. But at that moment, a resolve settled in me that wouldn't budge. The next morning, I woke up to a series of missed calls. First, "Mom, we can't access our cruise tickets." "What did you do?" I didn't answer. Then Jessica, "You ruined everything as always. Did you even think about the kids?" Ah, the kids, her go-to guilt weapon. And finally, "Dad, you were acting like a child. Always so dramatic. It's just money. Just money. My money." I looked at the screen, the messages piling up, each one oozing with entitlement. I flipped my phone face down, letting it buzz away. The darkness of my room swallowed the phone's glow, but the irritation under my skin wouldn't go away. Weeks passed, yet nothing really changed. Cutting them off didn't do much, they always found a way to sneak back in. Mom's voice was soft and rehearsed over the phone, "Honey, your father's car broke down again. He's so stressed. Maybe you could help. Just a little. Just a little." Like the thousands I'd blown on them over the years. Like the bills I'd covered with zero thanks. Jessica's texts kept coming, asking for money. "Can you spot me $200? My credit card's maxed out." The next day, "Please, I really need this. It's for a new job opportunity." But 2 days later, I saw her Instagram story, "Weekend spa retreat, cucumber mask and all captioned, 'Self-care is everything.'" I ignored her texts, but watched them talk about me on the family group chat I hadn't left yet. Jessica called me selfish, always thinking I'm better than us. My aunt chimed in, honestly, someone should tell him to grow up. He's lucky to even have a family. And Dad, some people forget what loyalty means. Laughing emojis, heart reactions. They were all banded together, solid against me. The next family dinner wasn't so much an invite as it was an order. Mom's voice over the phone pleading, "You have to come. It's for your father. He thinks you're upset. Please, just make peace." Peace. A word they pulled out whenever they wanted me to fall in line. I decided to show up, even though I wasn't exactly sure why. Maybe I thought things could be different. Maybe I wanted to see if they'd changed. Spoiler alert, they hadn't. The house was as warm as ever, and the table was overflowing with food. My mom planted a kiss on my cheek, her sweetness feeling a bit like a trap. My dad had his usual big grin and loud voice. "There he is, the big man, still grumpy about the cake," he boomed, and a few of his buddies chuckled. Far down the table, Jessica was glued to her phone, acting like I wasn't even there. "Come on, take a seat. We saved a spot for you," my mom said, patting the chair closest to the kitchen, probably to keep me handy for food runs. Dinner was a whirlwind of noise, laughter, and the same tired jokes. "You still at that little job of yours? Is that even real work? Didn't you just get a new car? Must be nice to have money to throw around, right?" I just ate quietly, chewing down their jabs along with some dry chicken. Then Jessica piped up, loud enough to cut through the chaos. "Oh, did you see what he posted last year?" She smirked, waving her phone around. "He actually tried to brag about buying that cake. Can you believe it?" My dad burst out laughing. "Yeah, $1,000 on a cake that ended up on the floor. That's our boy, always splurging." More laughter followed, and a few friends raised their glasses. My phone buzzed with a notification. My mom had shared a family photo on social media, everyone all smiles, except for me, I wasn't even in the shot. The caption read, "Family is everything. So grateful for those who understand love." That hit me hard, the laughter from inside echoing in my head as I stepped outside for air. The cold air hit my face like a wake-up call. I tried to calm myself, but through the window slightly cracked open, their voices drifted out. "He's so sensitive. Did you see his face?" Jessica snickered. My dad, chuckling, added, "After all we've done for him, he thinks he can just leave us like that." My mom's voice chimed in, "Don't worry. He always comes back. We just have to say we're struggling, and he can't resist helping. If he doesn't, just keep telling him he's selfish. He hates that." I gripped the porch railing, my knuckles turning white. I was their punchline, their convenient ATM. Driving home, their words twisted in my mind, the lies, the taunts, the truth. They never really loved me. I wasn't family, I was just useful. Pulled over on the side of the road, I leaned my forehead on the steering wheel, trying to breathe. My phone buzzed again with a notification. My dad had posted some sappy status, "Family isn't who helps when it's easy, it's who stays when it's hard," and the comments were pouring in with heart emojis and praise. Jessica posted a story with her and my parents laughing, drinks in hand, captioned "Real family, always together." I stared at it, feeling something inside me shatter. They were rewriting our story, turning me into the villain. But they didn't know me anymore. I wasn't going to just leave it like that. I was going to reclaim my narrative. By the next morning, I had a plan. At my dad's birthday dinner, the restaurant was buzzing with laughter. The place had a warm, golden glow from the chandeliers, perfect for the occasion. My dad was living it up like royalty, the table stacked with seafood and glasses clinking with toasts. My mom was beaming, her arm around him, while Jessica snapped selfies, her voice cutting through the noise. I slid in quietly, carrying a big, fancy gift box. Heads turned, whispers spread. My dad grinned wide, raising his glass. Well, he decided to join us. Come in, come in. We thought you were too busy for us." The chuckles rippled through the table, and Jessica's smile stiffened. I smiled back, taking my seat, and the gift became the center of attention, all eyes on it. My dad couldn't stop eyeing it, practically drooling with greed. Dinner went on, stories repeated for the 1,000th time, my dad reliving his business glory days, my mom gushing about how family is everything, and Jessica chatting up her friends. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. And hit the notification bell to stay updated with more crazy real-life stories happening around you. So, there I was, just listening quietly. Honestly, his dramatic flair was nothing new, he always acts like he's on top of the world. But, surprise surprise, he eventually comes back. I held back for a bit, not reacting just yet. I watched them. They were all smiles, laughter spilling out, my dad's arm wrapped tightly around my mom. It was like the perfect family postcard. But I knew better. Then it happened. My dad cleared his throat, lifted his glass, and went into his big speech. Thanks for being here, everyone. Family means the world to me, and tonight, I'm the luckiest guy alive. Everyone cheered, glasses clinked. Jessica was already getting ready to snap another picture-perfect moment with her phone. That's when I stood up. Actually, I started, my voice cutting through the noise, before we get all celebratory, I've got something to share. I nodded toward this big gift box sitting in the middle of the table. My dad's face lit up, grinning like he got something great. Finally. A little appreciation, huh? He chuckled. I stepped up, slowly unwrapping the shiny paper. The room went silent as I opened the box. Inside was a stack of neatly clipped papers. My mom's voice quivered. What? What's this? With a steady voice, I held up the first page. Here's a little record of everything I've paid for in the last 7 years. The mortgage on your house, your bills, every time there was an emergency that somehow turned into spa days and vacations for Jessica. The room was dead silent. Dad's smile slipped. What are you talking about? He asked. Oh, I'm just getting started, I said, pulling out more papers, bank statements, money transfers, the whole shebang. Remember all those times you said you needed help? Well, here it is. Jessica's face went pale. This is insane. Why are you doing this? She stammered. I leaned in, staying calm. Because I want everyone to know the truth about how you treated me. You laughed behind my back, called me your family's wallet. I tapped my phone, and suddenly, my dad's voice boomed from the speakers. He's too stupid to notice. We say it's for repairs, and he just pays. Then came Jessica's voice, all sharp and cruel. If he finds out, so what? He's desperate for our approval. The guests exchanged awkward glances, murmurs filling the room. My mom jumped up, furious. How dare you? This is supposed to be a family moment. Family? I retorted. You don't even know what that means. Real family doesn't use you or lie and steal from you. Jessica's boyfriend edged away from her, looking disgusted. Is this true? He whispered, but she had no answer. Dad looked both shocked and angry. You're trying to humiliate us in front of everyone? Humiliate you? I laughed sharply. You did that to yourselves. You made me your backup plan. Jessica's voice cracked, begging me to stop. You're ruining everything. I stepped forward, holding one last paper, the deed to their house. This was in my name. It's being sold. Your free ride? Over. Dad reached for it, but I pulled back. You can try, but it's done. Vacations? Cancelled. Jessica's car loan? Gone. Utilities? Shut down. Mom clung to a chair, looking lost. You can't do this. You're our son. No, I said, feeling a huge weight lift off my shoulders, not anymore. The restaurant was eerily quiet. People were pulling out their phones, whispering. Jessica's friends awkwardly excused themselves. Her boyfriend got up, looking at her with disgust. I can't believe how selfish you are, he said before walking out. Jessica's scream was raw and desperate. Dad shouted threats and curses. Mom tried to grab my arm, but I stepped away. I loved you, I really did. Tried to help, but you only saw me as a wallet. Now that's gone. I pushed through the stunned crowd, the restaurant doors closing behind me. The cold air hit, but I felt light, like I'd finally let go of a heavy burden. I left their chaos behind, already fading into the background. Back home, the silence was like a crashing wave, but I didn't mind. My phone buzzed nonstop, my mom pleading, Dad raging, Jessica blaming me for the embarrassment. I tossed the phone aside, done playing their game. But then a new message popped up from an unknown number. I know what they did. I can help you. It seemed like a scam, but then another message came through, a photo of my family at the table, phones out, laughing. My dad's grin was wide, seemingly loving life. Sure, here's a more casual version with added detail. So, there I was, watching my mom laugh her head off when I got this weird feeling in my chest. I glanced at my phone, and guess what? An unknown number was calling. Turns out Jessica, my sister, had used my name for something major. I quickly checked my bank app, nothing missing. But that's when it hit me. Something worse could have happened. I called the bank right away. The person on the other end said, "Hold on, let me check." Boom, They found an active loan in my name from 3 months ago. That's when I was still paying for mom and dad's bills. 30 grand, supposedly signed by me. My head was spinning. How on earth had my signature ended up on that document? The voice on the phone was all hesitant and I was like, seriously? They insisted my signature was legit. Jessica had pulled a fast one on me, she'd stolen, lied, and forged papers. And my parents were backing her up, laughing it off. That was it for me. I stormed over to their house, didn't even bother knocking as the door was open. They were all in the living room, Jessica on the couch, mom beside her, dad pacing around. Their smiles disappeared the second they saw me. Dad was already on the defense. What are you doing here? I asked straight up if they'd taken a loan in my name. While I was on the phone filing a fraud report, I caught a glimpse of Jessica's face going pale. Mom stood up and tried to calm things down, but I wasn't having it. I laughed, cold and sharp, and confronted Jessica. She didn't even deny it, just started crying. Dad got all defensive, saying I was blaming Jessica for my problems. I moved closer and told him I had proof. The bank had documents with her fake signature in my name. 30 grand gone, just like that. Everyone went quiet. Mom asked Jessica if it was true, and Jessica broke down, saying she needed the money and thought she could pay it back without me knowing. Dad looked shocked. He turned to Jessica, saying she told them it was for school, for some course. Mom was crying, saying they gave up everything for her, and she lied to them too. I stepped back, watching their world fall apart. This is your family, I said, ice cold. A family of liars and thieves. I told them no more help from me, money, silence, nothing. Dad shouted that I couldn't just walk away, because family, right? I laughed. Family doesn't do what they did. Mom pleaded that they were trying to protect me. I told her they only protected themselves and ruined me. That was it for me. Dad yelled that I'd be dead to them if I left. But I didn't even glance back. As I walked out, the cold air hit me and felt oddly refreshing. They were dead to me, and I was finally free. Back at my apartment, Lily's little voice brought me back to a happy place. She showed me a drawing she did, a house, me, and her, just the two of us. It was perfect. My phone buzzed with emails, Mom begging to talk, Dad angry, and Jessica apologizing. I didn't read them. I logged on to a charity site for fraud victims, donated 5 grand in Jessica's name. Sent the receipt to Mom with a note saying, now I'm really helping the family. With time, my consulting business took off. I was picking Lily up from school, helping with her homework, reading her bedtime stories. Every now and then, those emails would pop up, straight to the trash they went. They had their chance. They chose to lie. One night, while I was working and the city lights were twinkling outside, Lily hugged me tight and asked if I was happy. I smiled, feeling truly free, and whispered, yes, sweetheart, and kissed her forehead.